Hello everyone, this is Darcinovia here. This is my review on Hard Contact, the first book of the Republic Commando series. Now, some of you may already know how I felt about Karen Travis's novels in Legacy of the Force, how I felt irritated by them, how I felt like it was unnecessary for her to add the Mandalorians in the story, that I felt like Legacy of the Force would have been better if they weren't in there. So now that I'm finally reviewing, which is perhaps one of the most critically acclaimed series in the Star Wars Expanded Universe, that my view on Karen Travis may be tainted because I read those works first and not her Republic Commando books. I was surprised how much I liked this one. This was a really good book, I will admit. I didn't know what to expect considering, I don't read books that don't feature Jedi very often because to me, the Jedi interest me more than anything else. But this book did it for me. This focuses on a squad of commandos, all of them which are sole survivors of squads that were completely killed, whether it's on Geonosis or another mission. And despite them being clones of Jango Fett, they each had their own individual, personalities and their own individual fears. At the start of each chapter, you have a quote from various people in the Star Wars galaxy. Of course, characters that we've never met. This book also introduces a Padawan, Airtran, who is not your average Padawan, honestly. She doesn't know that the Clone Wars happened at the time, and when she meets commandos, she's shocked to find out that they're all clones, and they don't really value their lives. And of course, this is one of the first occasions we see in Star Wars fiction where we see Jedi, not feeling right about sacrificing clones because she views them as individual human beings. Of course, this is not addressed in the main Star Wars stuff because there isn't time to, considering that the multimedia project was all about telling stories that featured various Jedi throughout the Clone Wars, and this was an attempt to tell the story from a different perspective, from characters that we don't know about. And Airtran, unlike other Jedi that we know, I'm not criticizing the Jedi in the EU. I'm just saying that I think she's very relatable because she struggles to cope with her current situation, and she struggles to perform even simple Force abilities, unlike most Jedi that we've seen in the expanded universe or read about. And she values the clones, as people rather than just soldiers. Dear Man is the protagonist of this novel, is interesting as a character, I will admit. I never thought I actually would, find a character that isn't a Jedi that interesting. I think he is, actually. I think Karen Travis did a great job establishing a cast of characters that you're going to want to read about in the future. The story of this is the Commandos are on a mission to destroy a nanovirus that could potentially wipe out the entire clone army. And what makes this really interesting is this actually feels like you're reading a war novel. Karen Travis specializes in, military science fiction. One thing I've noticed, and I think if you're a fan of military science fiction, and I think you'll like this novel if that's one thing that you really like, because Karen Travis does this genre very well, and not to mention she gives us characters that we care about. We care about these characters. We care about them surviving. She does really good with making characters feel like people. I may have had problems with her in Legacy of the Force, but I think when she's out to do her own thing, I think she does an amazing job. Republic Commando Hard Contact, I give this a classic rating. It's one of the best novels in the Star Wars Expanded Universe. It stands completely on its own, and I felt like if you want to try something different, Star Wars, and especially if you like military sci-fi, even if you aren't that big of a Star Wars fan, I think you may find some enjoyment out of this. Republic Commando is a good start if you're looking to read something in the expanded universe. I think it could be a good jumping point. Anyway, this is Star Sinovia, over and out. May the Force be with you, and next time I'm going to talk about the novel Shatterpoint.